Hi, hello. Welcome to the Talking Drum on Viva Niger Radio. As usual, I am Rachel Onamusi. I'm so happy to be with you guys this evening because I'm hoping y'all will be able to um uh console me, make me feel better, make me get over the pain that has been brewing in my heart because y'all, I have been depressed. Oh, bereft, black hole in my heart. I just don't know what to do anymore. I just don't know who to turn to. So I'm hoping I can talk to you guys, right? Because you guys have always been there for me. People, Banky W went to get engaged. Oh, it's over. My favorite spotless Yoruba demon. All the good things about being a Yoruba demon with none of the demonic parts. My Bololo baby, he just went and got engaged, and that was that. To be fair, he got engaged to Adesoy Tomi, who is nothing but lovely. I don't know a lot of the stuff she's been in. Obviously, she was in the wedding party, so basically, it just basically looks like she got the people who produced the wedding party to organize free wedding between her and her fella. Um, but yeah, they got engaged and they got married. Sorry, they got engaged. She is to be Mrs. W. My babala let me down. I thought it was gonna be me, regardless of the fact that I've never set eyes on him, regardless of the fact that I live in the UK, regardless of the fact that I don't live in Nigeria and I don't go to a lot of Owambe parties. I just kind of always hoped it would be me. But it's not, so here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Talking Drum, where we take a topic and we talk it to the very last bit. I'm Rachel, as you know, and I will always be joined in the house by a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of opinions. Never a quiet moment on the Talking Drum. So I can't wait for this particular evening's episode because this one is going to be a battle of the sexes. Is going to kick off. I just know that it will because this topic, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. It's gonna start slow. It's gonna start with everybody pretending like they're all civilized and everything, like they haven't got a problem with anything, and they're all liberal and they're all happy to live and let live. And then it's gonna end up with everybody saying your father, your mother, your this, your that. It's gonna end up being a mess. But being as this is the Bad Gang Club, we're always ready for the mess. So we are going to have a fantastic night. I just hope you all have your shields because there's going to be bullets, there's going to be grenades, there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all going to be on and popping. So I just hope you're all ready. I just hope you're all going to be prepared for a fantastic show. Our topic today is 19th century values and 21st century living. So, doing things the way our parents used to do it, is there still room for that in the way that our lives are set up now? So, this is going to lead us to a whole bunch of questions, but a lot of the questions are going to obviously have to do with, um, should women still kneel down to give their husbands food? Should you still look the other way if he cheats? Should he? I mean, are there benefits to doing things the old way? Are there benefits in keeping things the old way? Were the men more willing to listen to their wives, for example, if they felt like they were being properly respected, etc., etc.? We're going to talk about all of this today. Hopefully, we're going to get a few men to call in. So if you are there, please join us. We want to hear your points of view. We've always held the opinion here that the Talking Drum is not a coven. It's not where a bunch of women get together and chat and gossip about stuff and all agree with each other. It's about, let's rub minds. Let's talk your own, let me talk my own. If the men have a point, let's listen to what the men have to say. If the women have a point, let's listen to what the women have to say. And then hopefully by the end of the day, we will all be we will all, at least if not see things eye to eye, we will at least respect each other's views and at least see where the other person is coming from. So if you are going to join us, and I really pray that you do because we really want to put this one to bed, if you're calling from the UK, the number you need to call is 0330 998 1261. If you're dialing in from America, the number you need is +1 712 770 4032. If you're dialing us from Nigeria, the number you need to call is 01 440 5024. That number again is 01 440 5024. 4. Fantastic. So now that we've got housekeeping out of the way, you all know where the exit sign is, you all know where the toilets are. Oops, I'm just going to get rid of that. You all know where the toilets are if you need to go. Let's get our ladies into the studio. So the first person in the house, the queen bee of the Bad Gang. Hi, Bimbo. How you doing?
Hello, Rachel. Hello, everyone out there. Welcome again to the Talking Drum, where we make the world right.
You know, I had to, and I know Nkiru can hear me. Nkirika, you know, you called me and you told me to let Jesus use me and not like do the thing that was on my mind to do, because Bimbo was gonna be on mute. On mute. Nkirika, you know now. Nkirika, you know you begged me. Nkirika, don't do as if you didn't beg me.
Who is begging you? Nobody begged you.
Are you hearing?
Begged you.
Nkirika, you see why I said this girl doesn't need forgiveness, because she has no home training. And I'm even
and she's still talking.
She's still talking. I knew she would still talk.
Now. Oh yeah, put me on mute. Put me on mute.
You're pissing.
You don't even know. You don't even know. You want to hear all the phone that I've been pushing here, all the English, the poch English I speak and put in there. You don't think that's valuable? You don't think it's valuable something?
I don't valuable call. You know, I'm not here for you today. Something happened to me. Something happened to me today. I had issues. I needed my friends around me. I thought you would be like, oh, you know, let's get come and meet me. Let me get ice cream. Let's sit down. Let's watch. Don't mind that smelling banky W. That's how we used to do. Don't worry, your man is still out there. You were busy telling me one thing. Well, did you think he was going to wait for you before? Or did you think I find you a bit rude, if I'm not gonna lie.
Really? If apocalypse happens and you call me, I will be there for you. I will be there for you. But if you're telling me you want the banky W to be waiting for you and be single until you are ready, or
okay, but that's not even the point. You didn't even say, okay, Rachel, since this is how you are feeling, no, I know one babalawo, I know one place we can go. Nothing. You didn't bring any suggestions.
But I don't know babalawo now.
If you don't know babalawo, you will shall know church. You will know one inside now.
Which church? I don't know now. Which one? Sorry, my dear. In fact, don't mind that banky W. What I will show him. We will show him.
That's it. There is it. Nkiru Jerry, how you doing, fine girl? Oh boy.
I'm good. Evening, ladies.
Hi.
Welcome to Talking Drum. Don't mind these women, of course. I don't understand what's going on. Some people are in love with Banky W. Banky W is hooked up.
Can't you? No. Nkiru, tell me you have never checked that bololo. Tell me that bololo with his face
when
like
he has his hat on, I'm cool. But when he takes hat off, I just have this funny shaped head look. I don't like it.
I'm here for the. Fine, he looks like a Malteser. That head is just round. It's
not round, no.
I thought you didn't like short guys, Nkiru. I thought you liked tall guys.
Why are you selling Banky W to Nkiruka again?
Not to talk over there.
I said mute will happen before this show is over.
Why are these women hating on me? Why? Is it because you all know that if it was me that met this helper now, he would drop everybody for me? It's because you know that.
That is doing animal shower and giving people belly up and down. That's doing.
It's alright, and he will forget all of them. He will have amnesia. Remember it's the children.
So meaning when is your you know road to Babalawo, not so. Anyway.
Of course now. I want you heard of that Baba that is in Highgate.
In Kirika, this is the confess.
The one that the queen uses. The one that the queen uses. And now it's me and queen that go there. In fact, the day that Charles was talking nonsense, that he wants to overthrow Queen.
Queen has not died since 1900. Do you think it's by accident?
Exactly now. Where do you think Queen goes? Now it's me and Queen that go there now. The day Charles was doing tere, he wanted to come and overthrow Mama. As our mother said to Kanisa, but I will pay, wow, come, this man, this boy with large ears, that boy that almost ruined my body when he was coming out. This boy wants to overthrow me. He wants to overthrow me. In fact,
do you know what is paining me the most about all of this? It is my name that links to the radio show. So when Windsor Palace are looking for people to give car accidents, it's not people they'll go and look for that says Lizzie used to go to Dibia's place. So anyway, it's okay. What can I say?
Right.
Ladies, I hope you are ready because I have a feeling once the men join us, today is going to be full on battle. Today is going to be battle of the sexes, battle of what can we do, what can we not do, what should we do, what should pertain in a 21st century house. And I've already told the audience that I kind of know how this is going to go. It's going to start off all nice. The voice is going to come all, oh, ladies, I think everything's cool. Oh, we shouldn't worry. I don't need my wife to kneel down and give me food. By 9:55, you'll be here, your father. No, if you don't need that, you go back to your father's house. Nonsense. I didn't pay this money because you can come to London and be doing anyhow. I know what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. So, we're going to kickstart. While we're waiting for the guys to join us, I've already heard the voice saying that he actually is in a meeting at the moment, but he will join us as soon as he can. He's on his way here. The first port of call is, let's start with some definitions. What do you think a wife's role is in a marriage? And I'm starting with Bimbo.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
I was afraid she had gone.
I went to go and cry. When the two of you were ganging up on me, I went to go and cry in the corner.
Your mouth.
So before you continue, let me just announce the appearance of one more. We have another female in the house, Rachel Anna.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi,
the HR director. Good. Thank you for joining us. And you sound really clear. You're really coming through today because we really need you. I have a feeling that once the men come, they're going to gang up on us. So we need all the help we can get. We are literally just getting started and we're starting with definitions. Bimbo is about to tell us what she thinks the woman's role is in a marriage.
Okay. What the woman's role is in a marriage. To be honest, is it easily definable? Outside of the fact that if you're going to have children, the woman is the one who's going to end up carrying and bearing the child, if possible. But to be honest, I don't know if it's as simple as the woman's role is this, the man's role is that. Used to be, it was easier to define that, and your role was confined to the kitchen. You are bearing the children, so it's all barefoot and pregnant and serving your husband food, and essentially it's just sort of staying home to take care of the kids. But that's no longer the case. That is no longer the case. Women can have children now and go out into the world and work and provide for the family. Couples work together. Some women are the breadwinners. So to be honest, I couldn't tell you that this is one thing that it is. I do know that a woman's role in a marriage is to work with her partner,
okay,
to be able to make their marriage work and to do the best they can for their children. Outside of that, I couldn't possibly give you anything else more concrete.
Okay. So let me speak to, this is going to be fantastic actually. I want us to hear from Nkiru and then I want to hear from Rachel. Nkiru, what would you say is a woman's role? Okay, so let's start with, what would you say is theoretically is a woman's role, and what did you actually find to be your role when you were married? So what's the textbook answer, and what happened to you personally?
Textbook answer is the nice, and textbook answer before the 21st century was nice, obedient wife, homemaker, after the kids, doing all the school runs, and doing whatever is necessary for the house, making sure there's a hot meal ready for Oga when he gets back from work.
Is that textbook or is that what you were doing?
God forbid. What I was doing? No, I'm assuming that's textbook. Yeah? Sorry, guys. Not God forbid, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but really and truly, like Bimbo said, is there really a definition for what the role of a woman in the house? For me, the way I see it was, good wife, stay home, be respectful to your husband, be your husband.
Sorry, what does that mean? Let me come back to be respectful to your husband. What does that mean?
This olden day, as in, you don't argue with, the olden day or some women still live like that now, fooling themselves, excuse me, but it's like, don't insult your husband, listen to what he says, whatever he says is going to happen in the home, that is what you do. So basically, you do not agree. For me, I call that being a dog's body, but that's everybody's opinion. Everybody's opinion is different.
Yeah.
But it's a case of don't argue. Whatever he says, you support him in whatever venture.
Are you talking about in public or in private? Because I've heard that private. I've heard the one of the public where, don't, if you even have a problem with what he's saying, wait until you get home.
I have witnessed. Or I've heard, not witnessed, I've heard from women who are in marriages, in private, there is no talking, because it's a case of he's all in control. The minute they make the mistake, someone gets a family member gets a phone call, most likely the mother, if the mother of the girl is still alive, to report her for her sins committed by responding back. So I have heard that some men still bring it out and still carry on now, in this 21st century that we're in, which is quite atrocious, but hey-ho, each to their own. Do you know what I mean? If she's allowed it, then she's allowed it. But for me, on the flip side, my side, I was the opposite of a good wife. No, I wasn't a bad wife, because people think that, get me wrong. I wasn't a bad wife, but it's just, I got married late. I keep using that as an excuse. I don't know if it's an excuse or I'm justifying how I was, but I got married late. I got married late 30s. To be precise, I got married at 38. By then, everything was set in motion. The way I wanted things to go is the way it was going. If I asked you to do something, you didn't do it, I'd go ahead and do it. And it's a case of, like I said, some people pick up phone. My mother, I was being reported to my mother on a weekly basis, to be honest. I was 38 with my own kids, but they were calling my mom weekly reports my mother got on any move I made that was contrary to the move that he expected it to be. Because he felt that I was acting like I was in charge.
So in your personal, so this is not your textbook thing now. In your personal opinion, in your personal experience, the woman had to do as she was told, or she would get reported. The woman had to, not as she was told. The woman had to do how the man wanted, or she was reported. Conformity. Okay, there you go. So let me speak with Rachel then. Rachel, what do you think is the woman's role what do you think is the textbook answer to what a woman's role should be? And then what do you find in your home? The reason why I'm interested, because I want you to bring to light something we discussed off camera about your daughter's phone and, your husband looking for it. So there's obviously certain things that in certain homes, people believe, ask mommy about this. So it might not be a responsibility that you agreed upon as a couple, but somehow it ended up being your responsibility. So what do you think in your home it's the wife's duty, and what would you say in textbook is the wife's duty?
Well, I mean, I would flip it around. I'm not sure about textbook, because textbook will tell you, okay, well, Nigerian textbooks told us the woman was to care for the children, cook, clean, care for the home. But going outside of the Nigerian textbook, the textbooks tell you a lot of different things. However, I think historically the role of the woman has always been the carer, the nurturer, the one that stays home and sacrifices her dreams, aspirations. That's the woman. That's the wife, historically. And in any society, be it the Western world or our third, fourth world. It's just history. In my home, I am a lot of different things, and none of these things were things that we talked about. I am the nurturer, the carer. I am the problem. I think the best word that I can find is I am the problem solver. When something goes wrong, because my husband believes I am superwoman, that I can do anything. Why, I don't know. Maybe because I told him that. So when something goes wrong...
We know why. We discussed exactly why. Because you've been doing it. That's why. But continue.
Anything goes wrong, even if it's right in front, the solution is right in front of him, I hear, what? I'm like, okay, what is wrong? I am the problem solver. That's what I feel like. That's one in a nutshell. I'm the problem solver. If you're hungry, it's a problem. Mommy will solve it. Go to mommy. If something goes wrong, go to mommy. Mommy will solve it. That's it.
Okay. So the things that it has to do with you're the problem solver within your home, are those domestic things or are they things outside of the home as well? Does your husband expect you to have an idea about, okay, so what do we do? This is the third red letter we're having on this issue. Does he still shout your name?
Oh, yeah, outside the home. Yeah, yes, absolutely, especially when it comes to that, when it comes to making phone calls, everything. I am the problem solver. It's not just domestic.
Okay. Go ahead. You were about to say something.
Yeah. I remember one time I got to a point and I said, you know what? I didn't learn all of these things when I was in my father's house. I'm tired. You take this responsibility. The man appealed to the brain side of me and said, you know, you're so smart. You know how to deal with all of this. And my head was just swelling unnecessarily.
I'm
like, what did I fall for here? So,
Jazz. Hot one.
That's why we say he holds the mumu.
That's it. So now I'm going to go around the table again and ask the same question about men. So what do you think, starting with Bimbo, what do you think is the man's role within a relationship or within a marriage? And to Nkiru and then to Rachel, what do you think textbook is the man's role? And then what did you find in your marriages? So Bimbo, what do you think is a guy's role?
I think my answer is going to be pretty similar to that of a woman. You know, of course, culturally, it's that whole, he's the breadwinner, he provides for the house, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. But considering the world that we live in, the fact that we live in a Western world, and even if we live in Nigeria, things have changed such that our lifestyle sometimes require us to have more than one income. We want our children to go to really great schools. So even if the man takes on majority or takes on key responsibilities within the home, you always find that the woman is doing
supplementing
something
somehow
equally financial as well. So yeah, I'd like to say his role be the breadwinner, but to be honest, that doesn't necessarily equate. He could be the one taking care of the kids. If his job requires him to be at home on a regular basis, so why can't he be the one to do the school run? Why so the woman can at least focus on making.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this actually because this is one of the questions I wanted to talk about, where we hear this a lot and women say, why can't he should be the one to stay at home. If I'm earning more, he should be the one But there are a lot of women, and Rachel, I'm going to come to you. We're going to trash this out properly. But there are lots of women who, when they get that quote unquote ideal, or rather, this is one of the things I heard, when they get that quote unquote ideal situation, can they handle it? Do they actually want a man who sits at home every day and is concerned about PTA meetings and this and that? Do they actually want a guy whose main concern is, little Timmy didn't eat his vegetables today. I think he's starting to go off peas and I think we should start supplementing his dinner with broccoli. Do you actually want a man who is, for lack of a better word, a house husband? Because a lot of the times we talk about men's egos. We talk about the fact that they can't handle it. We talk about the fact that we feel like, oh, so why can't they do it? Why do I have to be the one to do this? Why do I have to be the one that... But I found that a lot of women are, what's the word for when you take off an anchor? They're unmoored when they get what they want. They are unmoored when they are not needed. When people don't say, mommy knows, mommy knows, mommy knows, go and ask mommy, go and ask money. And when they start saying, oh, go and ask daddy, go and ask daddy, when it's your husband that knows which day he does basketball and which day she does ballet, which day, So we're going to talk about that, but that's a very interesting point. Thanks for raising that. So let me go on to Inkirika. What do you think textbook should be a man's role? What did you find was his role in your marriage?
Textbook for a man's role would be head of the home, bringing home the bacon, the wife prepares the bacon kind of thing, you know. So I think the way it was looked at was probably, man is the head of the home, the woman is the neck holding up the head. So she's like I said, homemaker. He brings back the bacon. Bacon is prepared by her, looking after the kids and doing all the stuff. To me, that's probably some people's textbook. I don't know whether that's the general textbook, but I believe that is in some people's heads. And I have a friend who, in her head, she actually thinks that that's how it's supposed to be. And I said to her, you need to wake up. The world we live in now ain't like that anymore, babe. So you need to know, even if he doesn't bring home the bacon, be prepared to bring home the bacon.
So I have a question. Wait, so let me ask the question about this. Bring home the bacon, doesn't bring home the bacon. And this is everybody jump in and answer as you see fit. Is it wrong if I say that is what I want and I stick by it? As in, see, I don't mind having a job, or after all, my father didn't educate me for nothing, or whatever. But I want a casual job. When I was growing up, father's money was family money. Mother's money was mother's money. So I want, let him open one small boutique for me. Let me be somewhere. Let me be going to Italy and buying gold. Let me be going to wherever I'm buying Swiss lace or whatever the case may be. That is the kind of work I want. I don't want this one that if I've not brought money this month, that means we cannot pay our mortgage. That means we cannot. Is that thought or is that desire from a woman, of which, by the way, let me complete that sentence. So in return, I'm ready to stay at home. I'm ready to be a housewife. I'm ready to keep a clean house. I'm ready to every day, now new pot of soup, you go to chop. I'm ready to, I will do everything.
Hey.
He will never see one speck of dust in this house. He will never see I'm ready to be that woman. Ready to be on my back, legs up in the air every night if he wants it. I'm ready to be. But in return, don't ask me for rent money. Remember, small, make it complete. This car, one thing they make for under the motto, bring bam. Don't ask me jack shit. So is she wrong? Because we know there are women like that. There are women who are trophy wives. There are women whose their biggest concern is their hip to waist ratio, making sure they only eat 5 slices of tomatoes a day. There are women who are selling their market nicely. So is it wrong for a woman to still have that mentality now, today in 2017, to say this is what I want?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. That's what she wants.
Okay.
Yes, so.
Okay, then fine, fair enough. Then is it wrong for a guy to say, see, I'm not the house for all these independent women. I'm all the single. I'm not here. I don't want it. I don't want a woman dragging nothing with me. I don't want a woman to say, how can you make a decision without consulting me? I don't want a woman that before I've said 1, she has said 10. I don't want nothing. I want a woman who will sit down where I tell her to sit down, do what I tell her to do. If she has any small business, let her be doing the business, but she does not tell me what I can and cannot do in this house. I want a woman that has a hot meal on the table every night and her legs in the air when we're done eating. Boom. End of matter. Is it wrong for a man to stipulate that?
No.
Stipulate whatever
it's
he
not wrong
wants.
for a man to
Yeah.
stipulate, but it doesn't mean he's going to get his wish.
Well, he might even get
That's
it.
what I think.
Don't.
Wait. Oh,
He might even
finish
get
your
his wish.
sentence.
The guy might even get his wish. Yes, it's fine for him to stipulate that, and he could even get it.
Okay.
But my own thing is, don't now go and find a woman and ask a woman who is a 95er and an independent woman, and then I expect her to then, because you want to put finger on her ring, on her ring on her finger, she now turns into a submissive whatever. So if your eye is looking for a submissive, go and find a submissive. So go to village, go find one that cannot talk, that knows that, and marry her. But you can't go and now find some independent woman who's got a shit together, and then I expect her to kowtow
And expect it.
He can ask for whatever he wants, so long as he also knows that when he's going, what the woman is going to be getting is also that kind of woman who has zero opinion, who has nothing, who's just going to be submissive and be able anytime he wants.
Okay. So equally, the woman too, she should be prepared to hold on. I think we've just been joined. Yeah. The woman too should equally be prepared that this thing that she's asking for will have its own. Yeah, you want a guy who does all the work, who does all the this, who does all the that, and you are not ready to lift a finger, and you are Madame Alakba stainless and everything. But she should be prepared that by marrying such a guy who brokes no arguments, who brings everything to the table, you are not going to have a voice. If she's ready for that, no problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Both of them should, it's okay to say what you want, but you should go in there knowing what you're sacrificing and understanding what you're sacrificing and look for what you want.
Okay,
it
makes
becomes
sense.
a problem when the woman goes and marries an average Joe and expects him to carry all her bukata and her family's bukata, and average Joe is thinking he's picking up someone who will contribute to his life, and it becomes a problem when the man marries, like Bimbo said, an independent woman who's got her shit together and thinks she's going to stand in the kitchen for 5 hours making you hot baby food. You are joking. You have a problem.
Okay, perfect. So the thing is, okay, so we also need to come to growth, because you may marry a woman, you met her in uni and this, and she was catering to you and tending to you and everything. And she's a different woman from the woman you have 33 years down the line and 35 years down the line. So we also need to talk about flexibility. The man you married, what about if you marry someone who has money and then he loses his job, or, he gets downgraded, or whatever the case may be. So we also need to talk about flexibility while the couple grow up as a couple. So, sorry, let's go back to, actually, we've been joined in the house by Dola. Hi, the voice.
Hello, ladies. I don't know who else is on here. How are you?
We have Rachel, we have Bimbo, and we have Nkirukama.
The three musketeers.
Excuse me, don't you mean for? Okay, I know Rachel is in the house.
Yeah, she can hear my voice, so he knows that. Yeah, the four musketeers.
No, our moderator is just the mama of everything.
Oh, mommy, what? So thank you for joining us. As you know, today we're going to have a little bit of the battle of the sexes. So far, we're trying to define roles. What were the traditional roles? Luckily, we've got a couple of people in the house who are married. So it's all very well talking textbook, but we need to talk about what actually pertains in reality. What are you finding in your own homes? So we've already talked about what the women's roles are. We're actually going around the room and talking about what is the man's role within the marriage. And Nkiruka was about to tell us what was the man's role in her marriage, not textbook this time. What was the man's role? What did she find ended up being his role to play?
His role, in the end, was a case of staying at home, refusing to go and look for a job, saying to me, you should be happy, I'm looking after the children and helping you do the dishes. There are men that their wives look after them, his friends, and they're not complaining. Why am I complaining? And for me, I feel it, no matter how small, no matter how inconsequential, it is good for a man to go out there and look for a job, because it's good for a man to have his own independence and be able, because when a woman starts insulting you, in the beginning, he had a job, he was doing whatever he had to do, job whether it was legal or not, illegal after, I found out, a bit late, but the thing is, at least, every day he would go out, so there's it became a case of two women sitting in the house squabbling over crap, because I'll call him a woman, I'm sorry, it became a case of, why are you in the house anyway? I was in the house, but I worked.
So, but then I have a question though. Because we're talking about two different things. You can, on the one hand, talk about a lazy man who refused to go out and work. Almost, I guess, maybe because, because that is very different from when a couple sit down together and say, look, I'm earning 3 times what you're earning. And by the way, we don't have nanny, we don't have au pair. Doesn't it make sense for you to sit down and do this thing? Because actually, I have a story about this. I have a friend, a couple, who this exact thing happened to. She was earning, I think, I don't know if I've shared this on here before. They were low income, getting by. He was on like 25 and she was on like 20 a year. Then her friend introduced her to project management. She did her little project management. Her pay quadrupled. I say quadrupled. She was easily on 80, almost going close to 100,000 a year. Now, at that point, they sat down as a couple and said, okay, he needs to quit his job. Apart from anything else, they'd been having trouble with au pair. Anybody who lives in the UK knows what a nightmare au pair is. You get all these girls from Eastern Europe. You train them. Oh, this is where we put their school lunch pack. This is where, on Wednesdays, Shuaibu has after school club. On Tuesdays, Amina has whatever, ballet or whatever. So you get a girl, you train her all about how everything is going in the house, and then 6 weeks later, she says she wants to go home and check her mom. She never comes back. You got to train a new girl. So they were like, oh, we're tired of all these people coming and going in and out of our house all over the place anyway. So it was agreed as a couple that the guy should stay at home. However, I don't know why I'm having some kind of deja vu. I feel like I've shared this on here before. However, they did it and it went really, really well for like a few months, and the family could not have been happier. Of course, she's not losing sleep if she knows that the guy is at home with the children. This is not, hey, only God knows what Svetlana is doing with my children, or only God knows what, you understand? So, but when the guy goes out with his boys, it becomes, Mrs. Shitabe, welcome. Like they be calling him Mrs. and taking the piss. Then when it's his turn to stand his round at the bar, they'll be like, did your wife give you any pocket money? Hope you have money. Don't worry if you can't pay the bar tab, we will pay it. Oh, this is. Then they give him grief like, oh, is it time to go home? Oh, you're under curfew. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, you're that. Started off as innocent little ribbon, innocent little boys having fun, and he'll be like, this is that. Over time, it started getting to him. And then, by this time, of course, they changed the children's schools. Children were now in private schooling. They were able to go on holidays that they couldn't afford before. They were doing mad things. She was working all the hours got sent, blah, 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 blah. And then by this time, one day, as she was walking out the door, she just says, oh, and don't forget, today is Jamil's PTA meeting. This. Ask the teacher how he's doing, is he better now? Because the previous PTA meeting, they'd had a whole complaint about him slipping in mathematics and da. So they've been doing QMON lessons for him when it comes to mathematics. And the guy exploded. And he said, Oh, why don't you cuckoo come and teach me how to clean my bum bum? Why don't you cuckoo come and teach me this? Your job is really getting to your head. Please, I'm not one of your staff that you think you can boss about. If you think you have people at work that you can micromanage, don't bring that nonsense here. Don't. So she was like, I'm running late and I don't have time for this. If you like, go for the PTA. If you like, don't go. Now you know. Thinking, I don't know, maybe he woke up on the wrong side of bed. She got back home. The guy was not even remotely done. He was like, don't even think what we are saying in the morning has finished. Come here. This is this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going back to work. I'm not here. And she was like, okay, but you've been out of the labor market for so long. What is the job you think you're going to get? You're probably going to go back to, if you are lucky to even get a job, you're going to go back to 25 a year. Then I will have to either cut my hours to part-time, in which case I cut my pay. You all know how this contract job thing is. Either I cut my hours, in which case I cut my pay, or I go into a permanent role, in which case I'll do the exact same hours I'm doing, still look for au pair money, and be doing it on half the money as well. What you're saying isn't reasonable. And by the way, I didn't force you to stay at home. We sat at home and you were the one who said, we sat down together and you were the one who said, oh, um, if if um if it was you called Shebi would have asked you to stay at home. So since it's me earning less, let me stay at home. And the guy was like, yes, I know exactly what I said. I know I was there when I was saying it, but now I'm not saying it again. Me that said before is still the same me saying this time around. I'm going back to work. Go and call police if you don't like it. That's about that. So they scattered a very, very nice arrangement. Her pay got docked because she had to look for another job because the job where she was in refused to give her. Can everyone hear me, by the way? Everyone is silent and I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We're hearing you. We're just enjoying you.
It sounds like you have the pulpit, so we're listening.
Oh, okay. But I was like, oh my gosh, is something wrong with this recording? Everyone's silent. So, normally you people do adjust. I'm like, is it like, are you serious? Everyone was just silent. So
we're doing a hair, but we're waiting.
So the job that she was doing didn't allow her to do flexi work or didn't allow her to do work from home or cut her. So she had to completely quit that job because he did find a job. The job he found was 5 days a week, as in exactly the same job he left, basically. 5 days a week. He was earning his 25K, I think maybe a bit more. I don't think it was up to 30 anyway. But it was 5 days a week. It was Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So he was out of the house. So she needed a job where they had to get a nanny part-time, one of those, the ones that come in the morning and then leave in the evening kind of thing, not a live-in nanny. And she had to pick up the kids from certain time as well. So she had to do half-time. So she had to get a new job that paid less, that allowed her to do flexi work around her her kids' school runs them. And they scattered everything because his ego couldn't deal with, well, this is the story on the surface, because his ego couldn't deal with whatever. The guy on his own level is my friend. And I asked him, because she came to me and she's like, this thing that I thought is play, the guy said he doesn't care if this is what they have to do, this is what they have to do, that he's not listening to her, that, he's your boy, this, because I know him from Ife. We actually went to school together. So like, Barres, or talk to your friend, what's going on? He's gonna scatter everything. I mean, we have things in place as far as when the kids will finish secondary school, and he's letting his anger or his feeling get in the way. And I asked him, I was like, is she making you feel shitty in your own house? Like, is she making you feel like, oh, because she's the one earning the money, this. He said no. He is the one who told me, because the wife didn't even know all these things about what happens when he goes out or whatever. It's from his mouth that I heard that it's not good for a man to be said, no, Kweju, you won't understand. It's not right for a man to just sit at home. You don't understand what it is. No, whatever the case may be, the man should have where he's standing and going to every day. She won't understand this. No, I don't have any problem with my wife, but what I've said is what I've said. I'm going to work and that's that about that. Like, there seemed to be something that shut down in his mind that didn't want to have any kind of, okay, but think about what you're saying for a minute. There was something about him that felt maybe his manhood was being threatened or his, I don't know what to call it, but he just didn't want any to do this anymore. He'd done it for a while and he'd done it very well. The wife came back to report to me that, Omo, I have no problems. My husband knows exactly what the kids eat. He's the one who does the big shop. He's the one who knows if soap has finished in the house. He's the one who knows I can't fault him in the domestic side of things. This thing came out of nowhere, left to her. Left to him, it has been brewing for a while. So let me get off my soapbox and ask you guys, what do you think of this? Let me start with Dolapo, our voice of reason.
Oh, wow. First of all, I want us to reverse those roles there and look back and think about what has been the biggest complaint of a typical housewife.
Mm. The biggest complaint is lack of adults. Well, that I've heard from my friends, lack of adults.
I think it's a lack of appreciation of what they do and to contribute to the growth of the family. It's almost like, every single housewife, well, not every single, because I didn't do a poll here, but from what I've heard so far with a lot of people is that they complain a lot and say, well, my husband doesn't appreciate what I do.
Yes.
She just thinks that I'm jobless or whatever. I'm up in the morning getting breakfast for this, getting breakfast for the kids, getting them ready for school, cleaning the house, doing this, doing that. And he comes home and then wonders, why is my food not ready?
What have you been doing all day?
What have you...
Yeah.
Exactly. So now for a man, I think in a sense his ego needs that. He needs to go out there and do something. I don't care. It's not about how much he brings in. I mean, his wife could bring in 3, 5, 10 times the amount, but he needs to feel like he's actually doing something with his head and bringing money in. Even if only what he brings in pays in for the just pays only for the child care. He needs to know that he's actually doing something, because eventually, yes, he'll be correct. His friends will be ribbing him a lot about this. I mean, it will all be fun and everything, but I doubt whether it will be fun behind his back when they talk about it. And say, you know what, oh God, it looks like that woman just jacked the pop finish.
Okay, but I have a question. Is that validation bigger than the welfare of the family? That need for validation, is it enough to make us slash income almost by half? Is it enough to make us go back to the thing we said we didn't want, which is strangers coming through the house, looking after our children, and then leaving again every few months and then training another one all over? Is it enough not knowing who this new au pair is or whatever? Is it enough not having those expensive holidays again and all the things that my money has brought to the table because you are feeling some type of way?
You know what, I guess if I was in his shoes, and I understand the finances, I understand that, you know what, you make enough to take care of the whole family and everything, and the only way you can do that is for me to quit what I'm doing, so that you will have the time, or you'll be able to dedicate yourself to doing that job and provide. I can understand that, but there should be a plan. The plan should not be, we'll just do this and see how it goes. After all, the kids are growing, they will grow up, and they'll be able to stay home by themselves. So what is the plan after that? Is it, I don't know, in UK, at what age kids can pretty much hang by themselves in the house or go to school by themselves? But at least in Canada, I know by the time you're 11, 12, you should be able to stay in the house by yourself, go to school, walk back home, and stay home by yourself till your parents are home. Now the question is, what do you do? What is the plan for that period once those kids hit that age That is what I'll be asking. And the plan there should be okay, fine. My husband, at that point in time, you know you will have been out of the workplace for a long time. And you going in now at the age of 40 or 45, or maybe they have kids late at the age of 50, will be tough on you. So what exactly do you think we should do in order to at least get you something going? I mean, it could be okay, fine. You know what? Why don't I do real estate on the side? Okay, so we'll work on that. But there should be a plan. It shouldn't just be a question of, you know what, sit down there. You just be the home husband here till when I retire. No, it's not going to work that way.
Okay. Do the ladies want to chip in here? Yes, please, Rachel.
Yes, I want to chip in, especially having had personal experience of that nature. I think the man was very foolish, but it was his choice to be foolish. And there was probably already some sort of, he probably already had issues with the setup and just decided to go along with it. And the pressures that his friends put on him did not help. Like I said, having been in that situation myself, and having been faced with, well, you think because you're the only one bringing the money, blah, 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 this was my answer when I was done massaging egos. Get with the trend. Spend the money, have fun, or go do what you want to do. We spend the money, put in child care. It would be in our better interest for you. This is for the family. I don't know how my husband came to terms with it. I always say that. But somehow he came to terms with it. Having a plan for the future when the kids are able to self-sustain to some extent is not a conversation that should only come from the woman. This is something the man should also have been thinking about. At some point, his kids will be older, but if he had better strength, he would have been able to put himself through that process.
Or at least if you want to have a conversation, sorry to interrupt you, at least if you want to have a conversation, then have a conversation. Don't wait until you are completely full up to the brim, and then you talk about, oh, Kuku, come and clean my bum for me. Oh, Kuku, why you think you're the boss of me? If this is how you boss them at work, you can't boss me like this in this house. And he waited until he couldn't take it anymore, because really, the things I told the wife didn't know that he was getting raped, that his ego was going through all this, because she was in tears and she was like, Olorun renew me, God sees my heart. I didn't make him. He has his own card. We have a joint account. The money goes straight into the joint account. I have never queried him. Why did you spend this? What did you buy? I don't give him any problem. Which, by the way, is something that I think we need to talk about, because women get this a lot. When women are told, oh, even if you're the breadwinner or whatever, you should still be humble. You should watch his ego. But nobody ever says to a man, don't let her feel bad that you are the one earning the majority of the money. Nobody ever has those conversations.
I'm sorry, I say that all the time.
A lot of men don't.
You're different.
A lot of men don't. A lot of men don't, and you don't even know what is going on with the young. You are talking about how many years marriage now? No disrespect to you, Dolapo, but you're not even talking about what is out here in this world today, what the 30-year-olds, the 35, 40, 45-year-olds are doing. And there is no consideration for when the man is the breadwinner of the home and how he should treat his wife's ego, like a fragile egg. But women hear it, and not just from their mates. They hear it from other women. They hear it from other men. They hear it from religious leaders saying, men have ego. I'm like, is it born with testes? Like, is ego, and is it hidden in the ball sack or something? Because who doesn't have ego? Who went to all this school just to sit at home and be mopping up vomits and doing all of that? So he waited until he couldn't take it anymore, because he started looking for a job, and he was like, I'm tired, I'm done, this is this. I cannot be a house help. I cannot be, like, how is it house help if it's your children? How?
Okay. Now, I have a few questions regarding this particular case, and
okay.
Not that I want to know who they are. As much as I know,
I will answer.
Yeah, I don't want to know who they are. I just want to be able to understand the context where this is. Now, I understand that you say that the wife basically has been, she never basically, rode him on this and see, at any point in time, blotted out and say, well, I'm the one bringing the money. I understand that. But does anybody else within our family, maybe when when the wife's mom visits or anybody visits?
That I don't know. That's another very valid point. I don't know. So, I don't want you to carry this on your own because dun dun dun, we went in search of trouble and trouble found us. So we have
Hey,
other
not
men.
Tony, please.
Other men are in the house. We have Taiwo on a ringtone. Taiwo, hey, how you
Okay.
doing?
Good evening. Good evening.
I thought it was Tony.
Wait now, Taiwo is Taiwo. Taiwo,
Look
greet.
at how biased people are. Just mixing on my boo like that, eh?
Sorry, I forgot you were here.
I thought it was Taiwo. Don't let it be Taiwo. Sorry, don't let it be Tony. Don't let it be Tony. I'm not vexed that you arrived though, but these people are hating on my boo.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Welcome. So yeah, I need more men because we started off the show with 4 women, and like I said, this is not a coven. I need other people to be able to speak. So we are joined by another gentleman in the house. Hi, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Is that Tony?
The man without a face.
It is me. It is the only me, the one and only.
Tony.
What are you saying?
Tony, I have one request for you.
Are you there?
I thought Tony was busy. I thought Tony went to Nigeria. I thought Tony has found a new job.
Which job? Which job you give me?
I thought you don't become whistleblower.
I'm so tired.
That one a part-time job now.
He hasn't started that job yet. He just wants to go and do training for whistleblower.
Yes, sir. Tell them my people. Tell them my boo Jari. Tell them.
So he just wants to go and do training for it. He's going to start whistleblowing now. So all of you better wash your face.
I will blow it on that man with that good voice. That man
Bimbo, oje lo yera e wo. Go and check yourself very well. Yeah. Bimbo is just giggling. You know what? Let's just get back to the story because we're down to 1 hour. For those of us who want to join us, let me just read out the numbers real quick and then we'll get back to it. UK dial is 0330-998-1261. US dial is 712-770-4032. Nigeria, call us on 01-440-5024. In all cases, you're going to need the access code, which is 264812. Right, let's get to it. So we're talking about the role of the man versus the role of the women in the family. So there are many women now. So let's move things up because I just looked at the time and we're like, oh my gosh, we're running out of time. We literally have an hour left. There are many women these days who are very Kamari, I'm not about to do this for no man. I'm not doing this. I'm not, all of this. This. What was he on about? Cooking soup every day, cooking new pot of doing this, doing that. Oh, he doesn't eat this. He doesn't eat that. He doesn't like pasta. He doesn't. You go chop pasta. You go belly food. Don't even try that nonsense. Or you think I'm going to cook a different food for the children and still cook a different food for you? Kolewek. There's only soup, maybe if I'm at home over the weekend or what have you. We know that in some very traditional homes back home when we were growing up, there were women who will kneel down to give their husband food or whatever. Or Yorubas have a saying that says, "Onti oko kinje iyawo ki se." Anything the husband doesn't eat, the wife doesn't cook. And that kind of transcends further than food. That is like, just don't do anything your husband has warned you not to do. So there's now a whole load of mixed. Whereas before, there used to be very clear, this is how it is. The man goes to the farm or wherever it is that the man goes. The woman has her little thing that she does on the side. Maybe she sells wrapper or whatever the case may be. The man looks after the home. in that situation, the wife is well within her rights to make fun of him if he doesn't come through. All my mates have bought the wrapper for the women's vanguard. The meeting that we are doing next month is only me that doesn't have wrapper. She's well within her rights to say that. She's well within her right. But equally, there were women who were making room for girlfriends, for side chicks, for children that weren't theirs, for, I don't like the word bastards, but love children or children born outside of marriage and everything like that. So everything had its own, if this happens, this is what you do. If this happens, this is what you do. If you do your job and I do my job, everybody comes together and everything works. Then we blurred the boundaries. Women work, but men also work. Women go out till 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Men also go out till 5. They do 40-hour days as well. Now we're living in a London where you can't say, oh, the man will say he doesn't carry broom, of which many of us grew up, never ever saw our fathers sweeping or even knowing the road to the kitchen. Now we expect the men to, fine boy, I walk, you walk. If this place is dirty, you have carried the vacuum cleaner and run it over this place, especially families that have very young children who they can't send message or what have you. So my point is, women are very quick to talk about the things they can't do or they won't do or can't do as a result of pay. After all, as you're working and paying the mortgage, me too, I'm helping towards the mortgage. Me too, I'm bringing money, at least, no, now me they pay council tax or now me they pay the Sky subscription or whatever the case may be. But, and the men can't stand and say, oh, I want a different pot of soup. I keep going back to soup. You know, somebody that likes it, but you know what I mean? Like, can't say, kneel down and give me my food, or can't say, we even have wives that say, listen, I'm not changing my surname. I'm not doing it. All my documents are in my father's name. This. It's going to be entirely too much stress to change my surname. I'm not changing it and you can't make me. So women are very, very assertive these days about what they want and what they don't want. However, there are still some roles that women think should be the men's jobs. And there are still some roles that men won't do, even though it doesn't favor them, as in you're the one at home at 3, or you could actually have a job where you could be flexible and you could close at 3 o'clock and pick up the kids, but you are like, I beg, it's my wife that does the school run. Or, I beg, I can bring the meat out of the freezer, but I beg, I don't know how to cook, I don't cook, and that's that. When you come back from your work, you are the one that will still cook. So how do we deal with the differences in what we saw when we were growing up and what pertains now? Let me start with Taiwo, because I'm sure Tony will have a lot to say about this. Taiwo, talk to me.
Okay, right. When we are growing up, it's a totally different era entirely. Now we live in an era where our cultures has collided with the Western world. So you mentioned something about women don't want to do this, women don't want to do that. You see, when you have like women say, okay, equal rights, equal this, then, and when you get married as well, if you don't want to change your surname, what's the point in getting married if you don't want to change your surname? Because if you look at it, a woman that doesn't want to change her surname, she's not going to be submissive. There's a barrier there already. That she's put artificial barrier there. That, okay, you can't tell me to do anything, I won't do it. I believe if you're married, change your surname so you can be cohesive. You know, let's say you still be in your father's name when you're on another man's house. You've already written divorce letter if you've not posted it yet.
The funny thing is, I picked you because I thought you would be the most cool-headed. One sentence, you have talked submissive, you have talked stay in your father's house, you have talked this.
Rachel, next time we'll finish because I think that in myself.
I feel so sorry for myself today. Oh yeah, continue.
It's true now. When you're married, and you say, okay, you're not going to change the surname. How is that being submissive to your husband?
It's okay. Wait, Rachel, please. Dolakbo, just keep breathing. Rachel, come.
Ask a question. How does changing my surname make me submissive?
Thank you.
Okay, put it
answer. What's
the point?
Wait, who asked that question?
It's Rachel.
Rachel, New York.
Who asked that question?
It's Rachel, New York now. It's Rachel, New York. Who else?
What did you just say now? How
does changing my surname make me submissive? How exactly?
Why don't you kuku stay in your father's house?
Exactly, my brother.
I said
you stay in your father's house now and let your husband come and greet you once in a while.
No problem. I'm saying in my father's house.
One by one.
If it comes to that, I have absolutely no problem staying in my father's house. When he's ready for a duty call, he can come see me anytime.
Oh, that is the case. That is you are a 21st century wife. Then you are not a traditional wife. You will come and get booty calls. Someone else will sleep at home with him. You will come and get booty calls. You are not the wife anymore.
Oh, Jesus.
That was just by name.
This is semantics. The point is this. Let's go back to the real question. How does changing my name make me submissive? I could change my name simply because if I decide to divorce you in 20 years, I have your name, you're responsible for me. It's a name. Submission and names are not. It has nothing to do.
Wait. You see. Let me tell you something. You know when you plant mango.
Oh God. Proverbs
when you plant mango tree, and when the leaf start to come out, you know that leaf is not the mango, but the mango is still coming. Let the tree now say, because the mango is the main juice, so the leaf no go come out. Make mango just come out straight. How will it work?
I will have to understand what you are saying. Because I don't understand. I can't answer the question.
You see, while you are failing to take the name, it is a sign that woman is not ready to be submissive. Because
that means it goes back to then, you know what I will take that to mean? It goes back to what your original definition of marriage is. You see marriage as an ownership of the woman. No. It means so much to you. Because submission and taking your name are two different things.
You see, you are a Hollywood shaped wife.
Oh, absolutely not. I got married at 20. What are you talking about? I am not a Hollywood or Hollywood shaped wife.
Whether you get married at age of 15 or age of 35, it doesn't matter. You are
the point was I got married No. I'm not a Hollywood or Nollywood shaped wife. You'll be very amazed at how traditional I am. But taking on the name, it does not Wait, I can give you 1,000 examples of women who took on their husband's name, and that word submission is not in their dictionary at all.
Okay.
At all.
Right. Okay. If you and your husband goes out, right, how would you introduce yourself?
Rachel,
does that make what difference does that make?
I am Rachel. I am me. I am who I am. I am a person first. Before you can
You are what?
I am me. I am Rachel. I introduce myself. You get me a good news. I introduce myself as Rachel. You might me out as daughter of a Rachel. That's what I introduce myself as.
As what?
Okay.
Excuse me, 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. If everyone's talking at the same time, the people at home won't be able to hear you. Rachel says she introduces herself. Sorry, Rachel. Do you in fact do you answer your husband's surname?
Oh yes, I do. Because I did. It wasn't something. Let me answer that question before you get there. I didn't think about it. It was the norm. Like I said, I got married about 20 years ago. It was the norm. So I don't put any thought into it. If I had, I probably would have hyphenated my name. Because I very proudly introduce myself as daughter of Erogu. Anyone who knows me, and that's my father's name. Because that's who I am.
Daughter of what?
Erogu.
When outside they talk, they go. You want to go find my father? What do you want to tell them?
Daughter of Iroko, what did you say?
So I want to come in here and say this is just my opinion, and it's just an opinion. It's not written in stone or anything. I understand what Rachel is saying about getting married at a younger age and doing things because that's just the way it was done. I am now quarter to 40. If I marry I have been Rachel Onomusi. That is my name. It's not like it's my father's name. It's not my father's name. It is my name. It is my name the same way as something with 4 wheels on the bottom is a car. That is what it is known as. And I cannot start being called, you stop calling a car and start calling it a mango tree because the car has now fallen in love with Mr. Mango Tree. It just doesn't work that way. This is who I am. Everything I've ever done, I've done at this age, almost 40, almost half of a century. Sorry, Taiwo, what were you saying?
That's not the norm. Wait, okay. When you say like two becomes one, what's all that business then? So
that's their business. That is their business. That people want to live their lives that way does not mean I have to conform to it. I have a right to look at something at face value and say, this works for me, or say, this doesn't work for me. And if it doesn't work for me, it doesn't negate what everybody else does. If that's what everybody else wants to do, that's just fine.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask the both of you a question.
Ask us, Jenny. Fine girl.
If you are going to marry your husband,
yes.
And the husband now says, that one you are talking now because you are not married yet. You are still single. And you can talk anything you want. Because it is easier for people like that to talk. When you now meet the man, and the man says, you have to take my name, are you going to say no? You are still Rachel Onomusi?
I definitely think I would have a problem with that sort of tyranny, that sort of domination that you have to. At what age? Who are you talking to? It is domination. If you don't want to have a conversation with me, there's a way you can have a conversation with me that I will even look at it that is true. So for this paperwork, my name will be in a different name. Your name is going to be somehow every time we go to the airport. There's 100 valid reasons that it actually makes sense to take his name. It makes paperwork easier. But if you and tell me you have to, who are you? Fuck you, your mama, and your name. I don't have to do nothing.
Sugar, that is why you will remain single forever.
It can be. That may be.
And if you are happy being single forever, that is fine. It is not a crime.
That may be, but I'm telling you that I would also have a problem with dating someone who says it's his way or the highway. If you are willing to be so domineering about something as personal to me as my branding, who I am, the name that is written in my DNA, then that means there's nothing you can't be dominating. That means if I want, that means I cannot have a conversation with you about how many children we should have. I can't have a conversation with you about when I sleep, when I wake. That means you will be telling me what to do all through my life, and I'm not sure that I want to do that.
Wait. I think you people are getting this wrong.
Okay.
You are talking as if you are just knowing me for the first time. If you want to ask that kind of question, you have to ask Dolako, is the Canadian man.
I understand you. That's why I didn't take offense when you said, "Oh, you will never get married." I'm not. Now you, Tony. Any other person will tell me. I go tell them say, "Now you not go ever marry."
We will not have any. Wait, we will not have that discussion. It is what I want before you enter my house. If you cannot enter my house bearing my name.
But Tony, you know that I know you and I am not married to you. You know there's a reason. Because I know say you dey Chris. So I know go fit marry who dey Chris. So that's why.
We started out this show.
I know say
we started out this show establishing those guidelines that it is okay to ask for that. But you ask for that with the person that can give it to you.
Absolutely.
You don't go ask a woman who is independent, intelligent, and say, take my name or nothing at all. If you ask someone like me right now, I'll tell you to speak it where the sun don't shine. Because I will not be speaking your name. Now, if you go to someone who has no opinion and has no problem with giving up her identity and say to her, my name or nothing at all, and she's that dependent on you, she would take it because she needs you that badly. But I don't. That's something my life depends on you.
Wait, you women safe.
Dolapo is just breathing in and breathing out. Dolapo is tired. Dolapo is tired of life.
We are just waiting for Dolapo to talk.
There is a reason why businesses do rebranding. All these things that you're saying, this is your brand. That is your brand as a single woman.
No. I'm not talking about a corporate brand. I'm talking about, you know what they do to cattle when they use a hot iron and brand the name on the cattle.
No, that is not like that. You are saying this is your brand. This is what you are known as. richest.
No. That's why I'm validate. I'm not saying brand like what the corporate world is calling brand. I'm saying brand like the way you brand cattle. Brand as in it is written on the skin. It is indelible.
We're not talking about that one now. I'm not going to say you should tattoo my. I'm not saying you should tattoo my name on your bottom or your buttocks or your breast. Now I'm not saying that.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of Tony. Okay,
Rachel, don't tattoo his name on whatever.
No, I'll leave that to you. I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, I'll come after you, girl. Let me
read out one of the comments that we've got. Interesting discussion. Many men who lived alone before getting married have no great difficulty with looking after the home or even meals. The inflexibility talked about is both genders. I lived with my father. So this is a gentleman writing this. I lived with my father who had to stay away from the main home for a while. No wife except on occasion. She stayed in brackets at home. He did everything from cooking to looking after the house. So the concept that that is a man's role was not one that all of us saw. I frequently wash dishes and told it's not well done, I should leave it. But nope, I will not stay in a house with dirty dishes, etc. In a recent thread, no lady did not agree with her rent or mortgage is never a woman's portion, even if she earns more. It's simply amazing how role switch happens. I do not think that these things are meaningless, though. They are, however, deeply conditioned ideas with which each couple will have to work out to get harmony. Countless examples. I have a close acquaintance whose marriage lasted 18 months due to failure to work these out and turn the individual me to we. Okay, please, can we leave my marital status and move on? Dolapo, you're supposed to be the mediator here. You won't answer now. I want to talk about women who experienced servitude while growing up. Do we have anybody here who, when they were growing up, their mothers were the ones who referred to the fathers like heir, or knelt down to give the father food, or lived in a home where the father's opinion was not broached at all? Like, daddy Tisoro, and daddy has spoken and daddy has spoken, and that's the end of it. And did it affect how you were as a wife in your home? Do we have any woman in the house who grew up with a submissive mom, as the word implies? And does that affect how you are today? So you all grew up with 21st century mothers?
No, my mother doesn't kneel down for my father, but at least there are some things that you will know that she respects him and she wants to. There's a way she approaches, like daddy. He calls him daddy, or she calls him daddy. Stuff like that. And there's some things like making sure the kids are okay. The food is always on time, knows what to cook and all that. Yes, that's the kind of home I grew up in.
Is that the kind of home? So is that what you looked for when you were looking for a wife?
What?
Is that the sort of? Did you find yourself looking for that when you were looking for a wife? A homely woman, someone who keeps the home together. Did you sort of find yourself, or were you like, oh no, actually I prefer 21st? Anyway, I think I know the answer to that. But did you find yourself looking for the kind of person who acted like your mom?
I wasn't. No, I wasn't looking for someone like that. It's just that at the back of your mind, it is there that this is what a woman or a wife should be.
Okay.
Not that you go out saying, oh, she has to be this, she has to be that. Like me now, I don't expect any woman to come in front of me and kneel down to give me food. If she's kneeling down in front of me, she's doing something else. So it's something else that she's doing.
Tonesco!
So I don't expect her to kneel down in front of me. Boo-boo, are you there, Boo-boo?
Yes,
I'm
here.
You people should always smile.
I'm listening to you. I am listening, Boo-boo. Yes, I understand.
Yes, sir. Don't
Let's
mind
finish the call. I'll go on my knees. Let's finish.
Dolapo,
Who is having a change of mind?
Is that being there comment?
You go on your knees.
This is when I finish the call. I'll go on my knees.
Oh, I will speak in tongues for you today.
All right.
Dolapo, Dasikini. Dolapo, Dasikini. I'm very upset, Dolapo. You are not helping.
You didn't ask me a question. Now, when you started, you asked Taiwo.
Okay, sorry. It's Taiwo that started. We were fine. We were fine until Taiwo said, "Go back to your father's house." Submission. I've even forgotten the question.
My name was nothing.
They have finished swearing for me. They said I will not see husband. Oh yeah, Jerry, fine boy. Dolapo, talk your own, talk your own. What was the question I asked Taiwo? That Taiwo scattered everything. So.
Nobody can even remember that far back.
Taiwo, what was the innocent question I asked you, Taiwo?
You can tell me name.
Tired.
I think basically one has to understand either we've talked about this on this show or whether it was on Bumi's show back then, where I basically talked about the history behind the relationship between men and women. You know, it came from basically everybody just being a loner and we were just like animals and just walking around, because go back down evolution, that's what you see. But the moment the man became more of a gatherer, and we were able to now be able to plant because we discovered fire and all that stuff, now that's where relationship, not so much but a family unit started coming together. Now if you fast forward millions of years forward and you come back to, let's say, about 200-300 years ago, it was common for the man to marry 10 wives because he had a huge land to till and he needed labor, and the labor were going to be everybody in the family, children included. So now that evolved into when we started, civilization started becoming industrialized, and it was the man that was getting the jobs in the factories and the production factories and everything, and the woman was expected to stay home. Now today, women can go to work. They can earn a living. So now that has changed, and we will have to continue to evolve with it. We cannot hold on to tradition when everything else around us is evolving.
It's changing.
If we do that, we will become extinct. So in today's household,
we can't even do it because the women won't agree. So someone said to me
it's not a matter of agree.
When I put up the poster, someone said to me, "Oh, when you're putting it as 19th century values, you're making it sound like those values are outdated." And I was like, well, I can't exactly put 20th century values because at least certainly here in the UK, the change happened in the 20th century, and it happened during World War II. What happened was all the men went out to war and the entire British male population was getting decimated. There were wars, there were bombs, and people were going. And then at a time, they ran out of men labor, if you like, or male body parts, and women had to go into the mines. Women had to do the jobs men were doing. Women had to stop wearing the stockings and start putting on the trousers. And we had women who were hackers, who were decoding German messages and doing all these things. We had women at a point who were fighting, driving fighter pilots. I don't know if it's drive or ride. I don't know what they used to do with fighter pilots. So women started doing the jobs for the simple fact that men were dying out. The ones that weren't dying out were at Oju Ogun, basically. So what had happened was when the men started coming home, 1945 came around. War is over. Thank you very much. Hitler is dead. Everybody come and be going to your house. We're not all going to spend our lives speaking German. Everybody's happy. The men came back and wanted to do, where's my food? Why is my food not on the table? And the women were like, I still have my job. I'm the postmaster in this village. I'm the person that goes to do whatever the work she was doing. And I do a better job than the guy who was here before, or the guy who was here before never returned from the war, or whatever the case may be. So they had to navigate their way through dealing with old values versus what now pertains. The women never, and this is the thing about Pandora's box. Once you open it, you can't close it back. You give women some kind of freedom, some kind of, okay, you two, you can be going to work, you two, you can be doing, and then it becomes difficult to close it back. But not
Sorry to interrupt. To kind of add an addendum to that, after the war, with all the men that had died, there was now a shortage of women, and the statistics back then was that out of 10 women, only 2 of them would ever get married. So you had all these women who had been independent, who are now never going to be married, who cannot go back to just sort of being a dead-end spinster somewhere. They have skills, and they need to, they couldn't just die in the background. So they fought for, their own civil rights and having their own movements and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So it kind of just added on top of that.
And we had the suffragettes, we had women voting and everything. All fantastic, all beautiful. But then let's talk about these women too. Then don't be out here talking about if a man takes you out for a meal, should he be the one to pay? I'm talking to Nigerian women now. Okay, British women have done their little battle and fought their little battle and everything. There are still things within the home where I know wives who are like, mommy, I don't know the sound this guy is making. Me, I just went to pack it for Baba Junior. When he should come and look at it or get his mechanic to look at it or whatever. So as much as women want to talk about this women's lib thing, as much as they want to talk about we're equals, as much as they want to talk, there's still certain things that they think the man should do or should at least be responsible for or should be his job. I know Dolapo has mentioned previously on this show that he runs a joint account with his wife. Are there things that Remy will ever say to you, that's your field, you deal with that, or is that just based on if you're better at it?
No. We've never ever discussed or even jokingly said anything about that's your job or that's my job. It's always come to an issue of who was better suited or who was better equipped or who had the better skills at doing anything. We both know that, if it starts snowing out here in Canada, that, well, you know what, I'll go out there and shovel that driveway by myself. I got no problem with that. But she's a damn better cook than I am, so I would rather not cook anything so as to not poison my family. She does that. Not that I don't cook anything. I mean, for God's sake, my Saturday morning breakfast is to die for in the house. Everybody looks forward to it. But generally, cooking stew or whatever, for God's sake, I mean, I can give you concussion. That's the best I can. I went too fair. Don't blame me.
That's as much as you can muster up. So what do you think about this, Tony? In your household, are you the main, is your income higher than your wife's? You can pick whichever wife you feel like talking about.
It does not matter whether she earns more money than me or I earn more money than her.
Okay.
The thing is, me, I know, every man, every woman. Even though we want to say we are in 21st century, 22nd century, or whatever, they deep down in us, we still know that there's some things a man can do better. Okay. There's some things a woman can do better. We don't have to argue or discuss or debate it. Like the last one just said now, when there is snow outside and it's snowing, he would rather tell even if the woman can do it, he would rather tell her, you stay inside, don't worry, let me go and do it. He didn't have to say, because I'm the man, I have to go and do it. He just know that, no, I rather go and do this thing. Right? It's not like I'm being Lord or wait that. No, it's a man.
Okay, by the way, I know the reason why, but just out of interest, why do you think is your job to be the one to shovel the snow?
A man is stronger than a woman now.
Simple.
Do we need to tell you that?
Yes, continue, fine boy. Tony,
tell them. If you are telling me that we are equal, if you are telling me that you are equal, let a heavyweight boxer woman fight the heavyweight boxer man. Let them fight.
Tony, no.
Yeah.
It's in a no.
We are not equal. Don't even think about it. We are
It's
not
in a
equal
no. Tony, no.
Forget
Like,
that one.
wait,
You
breathe.
know,
Okay, wait.
thing
So
about, let me tell you,
let's Tony
the thing
finish.
about this is this, all right? The
Okay.
thing about this is when we talk about things like that, like say Goku, shoveling snow in the driveway or whatever, the point is she can decide to go out there. I mean, there have been a few occasions where I've come home, it's been snowing, and all I'm thinking about driving home is, okay, fine, I need to clean the driveway when I get home, and I get home and I can see that it's been done. Not exactly the way I would have done it.
But
So
shy,
in
it's
most
been
cases,
done.
I'll just be like, you know what, but there was an attempt. So I'll basically like, you know what, you guys don't bother doing it because you know what, even when you do it, it creates more work for me because when you're trying to clean it, you're stepping on and compacting snow on the driveway, which is more difficult for me to deal with. So let me do it the way I do.
We are still saying the same thing. That's what
I
I'm trying to
agree.
say.
Yes,
No,
But
I
but
agree.
I'm
you
on
know,
your
hold
side.
on, hold on,
agree.
hold on,
I
hold on,
agree.
hold
On this
on,
one, I'm your
hold
side.
on,
You,
hold on,
you as
hold
a
on.
man, you do a better job. That is the
Hold
don't
on,
be shy
hold
to
on,
say it.
hold
As a
on,
man,
hold on,
you do a
hold
better
on, hold
job.
on.
It's
By
fun.
the time I finish, you might not exactly be on my side with this.
And then I
It
will
is
deflect.
not.
That is very easy for me. I will deflect. I'm not a do or die fan.
Okay. My doing it and thinking that I do it very well, I don't think it's a function of the fact that I'm a man. It's just a function of it's something I've done over time, so I've refined my method. Now, I'm sure that if she teaches me how to cook stew very well and I start practicing and practicing, I'll be very good at it. But at least Rachel, you already know, she likes to cook. She just loves that. So I'm not. There's certain things that we don't define rules based on gender. Basically, that's what I'm
You
trying to
define
say.
it based on who's better at it.
So, like what the
That's
Lapo
it.
said now, do you imagine that when you were growing up, when you were younger, and if you needed to shovel snow, if those kind of work needed to be done?
But you see, I grew
One
up
of
in
the
a
reasons
household
is the
where
guy that
Wait.
it's a guy that would do that kind of job now. So
yes.
Again, it comes down to what the Lapo was saying, that he's that time to refine his method. Whether he now started doing it when he was in his early 20s or whether it was in his late 30s, it just means that he's done it a bit longer. He started practice. That's how this kind of gender rules thing happens. Sometimes gender rules is just
Yeah, but we also
an excuse.
but you like you're saying about conditioning. If I was driving past and there was a woman shoveling snow on her driveway, I'd be like, small time, this one self go talk say she get husband though. In my mind, like these gender roles
I
are
shovel
so
my own
deeply
snow.
entrenched. That's because nobody wanted Boo Boo has other things he wants you to be doing. If Boo Boo, well, the only work Boo Boo wants you to be doing is kneeling down. The only thing he wants you to
Yes,
do.
sir. Yes, sir.
So I think these gender things are deeply entrenched. And I came across a discussion on another wall where, and I want to talk to the ladies except Rachel on this one because I already know Rachel's answer to this one. But would you
That's not
accept?
fair.
Oh yeah, come. You self answer. To the women, would you accept a stay-at-home husband who did not bring home any money? I'm not talking about you earn more than him. I'm talking about a husband who only takes care of the kids. And to the men, could you be a stay-at-home husband who only nurtures and stays at home and takes care of the home and does not bring home a red cent? Starting from Rachel.
Could I accept a stay-at-home husband? Yes, if it's something that we agree on and something that's for the family, yeah, I could.
Before you answer, think about the implications of what you are saying. No? Now you go pay rent, now you go pay mortgage, now you go pay council tax, now you go pay motor, now you go
Yeah,
do
you
But
everything.
don't
hear done that.
discuss her now.
You hear done that. Listen to my caveat. It's something we agree on. It's not you wake up one morning and tell me, say, it don't tire you. It will tire you outside. We agree on. We
Yeah,
sit
that's
down.
why I said that I already know
I
your
can.
answer because I know, like you said, been there, done that. So, in Kirukama, tell me, would you accept a stay-at-home husband that you will be purely responsible for all of the finances and he will be responsible for being the home runner person?
No, I can't.
Okay,
I
simple,
can't.
simple and short. Taiwo ni ringtone. Taiwo submissive. Come here. I'm going to share you my screen. Your name is actually Taiwan ringtone on my screen. Would you accept to being a house husband? You don't work. You are not bringing home any of the money. So any money you spend, either money you spend for the family or money you spend for your personal use, it is money that she has worked for. But you, in return, you do you do the school run, you do this, you do that, you make sure the home is all tidy, then make sure you blah, 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 blah. Would you accept that?
No, I can't.
Oh, nice.
My natural instincts cannot let me. I can't just do it. It's impossible. As a man, I'm sorry to say, it's just like we're not designed like that.
You're not supposed to be designed like that, but there's some men that are designed like that.
Yeah, but that is naturally lazy. Men are not naturally lazy. We're not born to see our home.
Men are not guinea. Men are not guinea. Men are not what?
Hole anyhow.
Exactly.
Who gave you shovel this night?
Listen, there are men that are, excuse the use of my language, there are men that are freaking fucking lazy, right? It takes a shovel to get them off the couch, to get up and even go and have a bath, let alone go and look for a job. Be real. Be real.
Okay, so Taiwo, you just talk about yourself. I'm still going to go around the rest of the room. Let me just talk about some of the comments. Let me just read out a few of the comments we've been getting. Melissa Emmanuel, who is a great friend of the house. She's our wife, aka Larry the Boxer's wife, and a fantastic, she speaks out on women's empowerment. She speaks out on, I think she's a fantastic person, and we really should have had her on the show, because on the one hand, she really supports women's empowerment and all of that, but on the other hand, she has some very, very strong traditional values, some very strong core values. So I think a lot of her comments will come in, a lot of they're very interesting and educational. She says, as women, we need to understand that our power is different from a man's power. It is not and will never be a level playing field, because our strengths are different. But balance versus equality. That's number one. Then she goes, if there's a man in the house, I'm not shoveling no snow, mate. For what? Then she says,
thank you.
If I'm honest with myself, so obviously she's answering this latest question. If I'm honest with myself, I would not respect it, even feel attracted to a house husband. Oh, I would not respect or, I'm sure this was a typo. I would not respect or even feel attracted to a house husband. Then Dr. Senuhan says, this stay-at-home matter again. It is actually a lot of Dr. Senuhan's comments that we were talking about earlier on, where we talked about women say they want it and say, after all, if I'm working, what does it cost you to stay? But a lot of women would not be able to handle that situation if it was to actually play out in real life. So heading straight back into the room. So we've spoken to Taiwo. Dolapo, would you accept being a house husband if you wouldn't earn, not a penny?
Well, I think we talked about that earlier. I said that if it's part of the plan and it's better for the family, that means that net income wise, it comes out cheaper that way. Yes, why not? But then with a caveat that there must still be a plan, a long-term plan, even for the guy. And this is a discussion that the couple would need to have. Now, if you're saying be a stay-at-home husband for, like, say, Oprah Winfrey, no.
No, why not? Funny enough, why not? Why not? Why not?
Because it's not an issue of money anymore.
Okay. Okay, so you would only agree to it if you felt that your staying at home was advancing the family, or it was you doing your own part, and you would only agree to it to a limited time, right?
Basically, if it was just the advantages in terms of finances, if I have to go to work and I know I'm not earning that much, and net income-wise, it even comes out, less in terms of taxes taken out and everything, and then the cost of even getting the kids because they're very young, getting them childcare and everything. I can understand that. But if the wife is just extremely rich, like Oprah or say someone like Alakija, I am not going to be the toy boy that you just keep at home. It's not possible.
Oh my God! I'm waiting for Tony because I know he will have what to say. Boo boo, bimbo.
Yes, I'm here now. I'm here.
Okay, so would you accept
So what my
her
answer
husband?
is?
Yes.
To be honest, I don't know. I honestly do not know.
He would be completely. He would be a fantastic house husband, though. Not that you will go to work and it's you that will still come home and do the cooking. He takes care of the home. You take care of the finances. Okay. Would you be able to deal with that?
And we still get to have sex as much as I want.
Standard. Well, he can complain about headache the way women too complain about headache, but other than that, standard.
Unfortunately, the plumbing is not wired that way.
So okay, we have. So you're saying you don't know. We have a couple of comments that I'm going to read out.
Yeah.
So let me.
I honestly don't know.
Who haven't I asked? Okay, I've asked everybody. Oh yeah, Tony. Hey, let me strap my seatbelt. Oh yeah, tell me.
I am just you see, I'm just picturing it already. I'm picturing it. Wait, make you picture it with me. So I am in the house.
I'm picturing.
She will go to work in the morning.
Yes, by God's special
I
grace.
will wash the plates, carry the children, go school, go pick them back.
Yes.
Wash their uniform.
While they're in school, you are doing.
Wait, let me finish my story. I'm telling my own story. I'm not talking your story. So when the children come back, I will put them inside house again, cook for them.
Yes.
She will come in the evening. Say,
yes.
Honey, how come you didn't move out the toilet? Honey, you didn't do anything. Look at those spoons, are very dirty. Honey, come on now. Even a common sense should tell you that you don't put these things here.
Gosh, common sense.
So I will
Tony, the word is gumption. Oh yeah, keep gumption. Gumption.
Tony, I'm vibrating for you.
So I will be gentle because on Friday, if I want to go out with the boys, I have to say, baby, please, can I have a few change? I want to go out with my friends. So she will give me £10 or £20.
And say, don't spend it all at once.
Baby, you know that wedding, that your friend's birthday next weekend. I don't have any clothes to wear. So she will take me to Blue Water and tell me to inside Zara and say, pick that one. No, you can't buy that one. That's too expensive. Put it down. Go and take that t-shirt. They swear for me.
Does that mean that is what you would do to your wife? Let's stay at home.
Thank you.
Listen, Mr. Man. Sit down there in your Canada. Sit down in your Canada. Sit down there, please. I am talking my own experience here. So I will be at home. And so she will be working. That means I won't have any money. I have to depend on her for money.
Yes.
Do you know what that can do to a man? Do you understand what that can do psychologically? That man will turn to even Mumu will be better. Even Mumu will call him Mumuless. That kind of man.
Oh God!
Can you imagine?
What?
Sorry, Rachel. Rachel, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Can you ladies picture the idea of what so many women deal with? Because this thing that Tony has just described that has just given him so much agita and headache right now, he cannot put himself through. This is what so many women are asked to deal with in the name of
daily.
Thank you.
Daily.
No, but
what did you say?
I cannot imagine putting himself through that.
Oh.
So Rachel is saying, hold on, because no one can hear us when we're all talking at the same time. Tony, Rachel is saying,
yeah?
If you are so disgusted by this idea, can you? Oh God! Somebody on Facebook said the man will just start seeing his periods.
It's true that. Very soon you will tell the man to be carrying belly for you.
If you're so disgusted by this idea, can you imagine what it is that men expect from women? If you think, oh, you can't say this your friend's wedding, let's go and buy clothes. But you expect a woman to say, okay, this your friend's wedding, I need money to go and buy an outfit, or I need you to come with me to the shop, or So if you can't take it, why do men think it's okay to ask women of it? Ask it of women.
I did not say a wife should be a stay-at-home wife. I have not said that. Okay. You are the one that is saying stay-at-home husband. If my wife decides that she will not work and she wants to stay at home and let me be going to work and bring it, I don't mind. If she enjoys it, if she's happy with it, I'm just saying as a man. Listen, let me tell you something. Whether we are in America or London or Canada or Nigeria or anywhere, every man, there's what we call ego of a man. That even if we sit down with our wife and say, okay, let's discuss this issue before we make a decision, there's some things that there's even no discussion for it at all. Okay, as a man, can you imagine? So that means if I want to go out and I offend her, she can collect the car keys from me and then go back inside. I will die there. I will imagine this.
Let me read out some of the comments that
you are not a stay-at-home husband and you want to go out. I'll collect your car keys.
So let me. No, other people are commenting now. Sure, are you the only person on the show?
No, I said even if you're not a stay-at-home husband and you want to go out and you are vexing me, I'll collect car key, throw it somewhere. You won't go. It's not because you are working you will carry a car. Who has time for that thing? I will carry your car key and throw it somewhere in the garbage. You ain't going nowhere. If I tell you you're not going nowhere.
You will go and find the car key. You will find the car key.
This is the difference.
No one will see you run out and go and carry it.
Hold on, please. One of our listeners says, no, I can't stay at home and be a house husband. I'm a lazy git, true, but my ego is bigger than my laziness. It would drive me to and find something and feed my family, no matter what my wife does. Number one. Number two, Melissa says again, if the family decides that the husband should stay at home, there will certainly be collateral damage in that relationship. You married and fell in love with a working, independent man. Now he's at home tying wrapper and watching Jeremy Kyle. Allow that. Then, so she's the one who says that's how the man will start getting period. Then she says, if the man earns £5 a week and I earn £10,000 a week, it doesn't matter as long as he is doing something, not just sitting at home growing breasts. This girl is not allowed on this show. I'm not going to.
Rachel, let me say something to that.
Please.
I think theoretical is one thing, and being smack dab in the situation is another thing. If you are earning £10,000 a week, and it's going to cost you £2,000 a week to care for your kids, to provide, and I'm not talking kids at 11, 12. We're talking little kids, I'm assuming.
That you can't leave alone,
£2,000 a week, and your husband is making £5 a week. When you're smack dab in that situation, and these expenses are staring you in the face, you realize that the only smart adult decision, if you guys are not foolish, is for you guys to make that decision. Now, if someone's ego is getting in the way, sure, go make £5 a week and figure out how your kids are going to be cared for. Because I'll play the role of a woman in that case. Okay,
so that 2,000 that you are saving, will you be giving it to the husband as monthly upkeep for himself, or you will keep it in your account?
It also goes back. I will give you
the family.
Hold on, let me answer this. I and my husband share a joint account, always. I do not have a private account, neither does he. Once the bills are taken care of, I don't care if he spends $1,000. Neither does he care.
That's how they carried Okada and came to meet you in the house.
That's how they carried Okada and came to meet me in the house. That trust is right there. We take care of our family, and you do what you need to do. You just have to.
Let me tell you. I understand what you are saying, and yes, it can work for some people. But let me tell you, the devil always finds job for a idle hand.
Very true.
You have joint accounts, so he has.
You not being a housewife or a house husband.
Let me finish.
They are not idle.
Wait.
Let me finish. Yes. Let me finish now. Mm-hmm. He has he has cash, access to cash in the house. For that in the account, he can get any amount. He's at home. The children has gone to school. That period between 10 in the morning and 3. Between 10, you see, let me tell you, first of all, when he's taking those children to school, there's some single ladies that are bringing their children. They will all be
all of them will know him at the school gate.
Oh, good
so,
Lord,
so when they finish, they will stroll back home.
does the housewife have single men coming to chat her up?
Wait, forget all those ones. We're not talking about
Answer my question. Does the housewife have single men chatting her up? I have seen a housewife. Housewives are not necessarily that. They're not sitting down twiddling their thumbs.
Listen to me, this woman. There's a difference between the psychic and the thinking of a man and a woman. It's different. When you're a married woman and a single guy approach you, first thing first is you are first. There's a kind of fear that comes upon me. Wait, what does he want? Let my husband not see me. Let me
tell you something, my dear. It makes me feel good. I leave them on for all of 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds before I let them know I'm married. I do feel very good when they approach me.
Okay,
I don't send them running. I carry a conversation.
Yes. So you carry the conversation and you go. Abi?
Yeah.
So nothing will happen. You go. That is because you are a woman, married woman. You will go.
No.
A married man.
We have had this conversation before.
What?
That has no job. That's very important.
Yes.
Married man that has no work.
I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, Rachel. That you're a woman. You will carry the conversation and you will go. That man that has no job, that has extra change, and that is fine. He is not going anywhere. Between that 10 and 3,
finish that conversation.
That girl.
But there are men that also work and do that. I think that is not right. That is saying every man is that foolish. They only think with the thing between their legs. There are men that work full time. They work 2-3 jobs and they still carry on relationships and do that. So having a job or not having a job is not a criteria for whether they will have a girl on the side or not.
You are thinking like a woman. I'm thinking like a man. Forget all this one.
Maybe I might hear this thing actually.
Let me tell you, every man that has blood in his body, if he has the opportunity to cheat, he will cheat. Except there's some very, very, very few ones that, not that they don't want to cheat, but they would think of the consequences and say, no, it's not worth it. But 95%.
Now you say every. Now you say
that negates your every.
No, I said most men. I said most.
You said every.
Sorry, most. I said most. I was trying to say most. Whether not every or most. Which
okay,
one?
wait.
I just said 95%.
Okay, so let's read out some comments. I know we go conk each other before we come out here this night. So Dr. Hunt says, I've said this before, even if he wins the lottery, being at home will soon cause massive friction. He will open office ASAP. Panadol is cheap, not free. Melissa, I think this is in response to what you were saying, Rachel. Melissa says, this is on 2 levels. We can't always be pragmatic when relationships are concerned. The man's self-esteem and self-worth is worth more than savings. He will go outside and find a woman to make him feel like a man because being at home, he is being treated like a woman. Then
I don't disagree with that assessment, Rachel. I'm sorry. However, if you feel that that's how your husband will be, then with all pleasure, let him go work. But I'm saying we cannot completely knock out and say that every man's ego will get in the way, because there are some men who are okay and they can sacrifice for the time being to stay home and care for their kids without disrespecting their wife or feeling like their wife is treating them like a woman. And we really need to be able to understand and accept that, because my experience is not everybody's experience. And someone having a bad experience doesn't mean it's not going to work for someone else.
So
your experience are far between. It's just like a story in this good book called the Bible, where
not necessarily. And also bear in mind, because
where God used a donkey. When donkey spoke to a prophet, that doesn't mean the donkey now speaks every time. So very few and far between that the man will not do anything. He will just stay at home and be sleeping and waking up the rest of his life while the woman is working. You are that's a time bomb.
Which is why he tells me you also do not know what someone who stays at home does. You are assuming that staying at home means you take the kids to school and you've got this 8-hour stretch of time to do nothing but watch TV. And that's not necessarily true.
But you know,
because I had that opinion before I was a stay-at-home wife for like 2-3 years. And I realized there's a lot of
what everybody fails to recognize is this: just because the man decided, or they both decided that the man should stay at home, does not necessarily mean now that, you know what, he's also devoid of any kind of work. Now he can decide that, you know what, let me start building a home-based business. Might not bring in anything for a year or two or whatever, but let me start building that up right now. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, but that's a different perspective you're bringing to it.
Yeah, but you see, it solves the problem, the original problem, which is how do we take care of our young children?
Okay,
so but that's not necessarily the problem. Are we saying then, number one, that men cannot stay? Let's forget the taking care of the children. I want to get to this ego / self-esteem / what is at the core of all of this conversation. Are we saying, A, it is impossible for men to stay at home and be house husbands in the way that some women are completely just housewives? Or, okay, you know what, let me use the proper term, homemakers. Are we saying it is impossible for a man to be a homemaker? And are we saying it is impossible for some women to accept homemakers? That's what I'm. What you do on the side, all of your little eBay is not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, is this what we're saying?
You know what, maybe a couple of generations from now when that has been inculcated into people. Okay. Because remember, we are creatures of habit, and it takes a while for us to change. The reason why men basically have been called the breadwinner was not because suddenly we started having men where they weren't going to office or whatever. That wasn't what happened. This happened generations before us. And when I say generations, I'm not talking 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. This was at the time when the man was the one that went out to hunt. Sure. And he went out and hunt and brought the meat home for the woman to cook. That's why men are called. And this is something that has been in us for generations. Now, as the environment and surrounding changes around us, now we will be forced to change. So maybe
you're right, because 50 years ago we couldn't envisage a situation where a woman earned more than her husband. So maybe the change will still be ongoing until we might have homemakers. We have literally 3 minutes left. I don't even know what to do at this point. We can't even start any other topic because everything we have talked about has ended up being fights. Taiwo, well done. Oh, well done. You hear? Simple question. Nobody can ask you.
I don't know who gave Taiwo shovel tonight to just be digging himself a hole.
He just wanted to rake up some more, that's all.
That's it, exactly. Taiwo was like, these people cannot leave me on the bench. So I'm so grateful, particularly to Melissa, to Moji. Moji had a comment. I don't think her comment was read out. She said, "Ontio dauda, what is not good is simply not good." Or imagine come she stay at home husband. Oh, my God, not let my son sit at home and do house husband. Dr. Shenohan says, so very true. The original stay at home referred not to a lazy git, but a house husband whose pay versus wife meant for home childcare. It was more pragmatic for him, but it was hijacked to mean lazy man living off wife. My take, it will never be acceptable to women. So we're talking about, so when I asked the question, so are we then basically saying that it is impossible for a man to stay at home, his ego won't let him? Melissa was saying it is not impossible, just not possible in this world I live in. So we are completely out of time. I would like to get final thoughts, please, from Tony. If you have any final thoughts, I'd love to hear them.
What I want to say now is all you women, I want to write a book on how to deal with men. So I will write that book and send it to all of you to read, especially that Rachel in America. You need to read my book. And
does she have to buy it or she will get it for free?
What are you saying?
Oh yeah, sorry, because you'd be like, who won't beat me?
But on a more serious note, I don't think a man is wired to be a stay-at-home man. And it's not even stay-at-home husband or anything. When they work, the responsibility of the man is to take care of the wife and make sure she's a queen. at any point in time, whether she earns more or not. That is the responsibility of the man.
You people see, I'm queen.
Yes, my boo-boo. Boo-boo, go on your knees for me.
I talk I'm saying I need what end this
now.
But how can she?
Why are you playing music?
I'm just mad at you because I had feelings for Banky and you didn't care. But this has just led to another question that came to the tip of my tongue, but we're completely out of time. Let's just say good night. We may have to tackle this another day. It's been 2 hours and we still didn't, get to put it to bed. But suffice to say that this is exactly what couples are facing. Different people have different opinions on how a home should be run or what should happen. Tony's final words is that he's going to write a book for all of us to read. I hope as part of the bad gang, we don't have to buy it. I mean, we'll still pay for our book. Some of us don't have husbands to be bringing money to buy book.
You need the book. You need the book more than anybody else.
It's me that really needs the money. I'm not talking to you.
You should rent money.
Taiwo. Yeah, final distance. Oh, yeah.
Good night. So I can't be a stay-at-home husband. It's impossible.
So it's okay. Yeah, come on, be good. Bimbo, say good night to us so that you can go and assume the position.
Have you? Good night, everyone. See you on Friday.
See you on Friday.
Don't talk too much. Just close your mouth. I need that mouth.
Yeah. Hey, Rachel, I beg, please sprinkle some holy water and let us come and be good.
Well, I'm saying good night from New York. Bimbo, I hope you have knee pads. Do not stay on your knees too long.
Carpet burn is a real
holy water. You
thing.
pour fire.
Carpet burn is a real thing. Dolakpo Shejari will call me. Please help me douse the whole everything. Just pour everything down. Help me.
Everybody, just good night. Just realize that this is coming from feminism, all this feminist movement and everything, which I agree with. But please, if we want to do feminist, let's do it all the way. Don't let us now come back and be talking about your money, our money, my money, my money. It don't work that way.
I actually saw a cartoon recently where a quote where it says if you borrow 500 naira from your wife and then a week later you give her 3,000 naira, that she will still come back to you and say, baby, the person I brought that 500 naira is really worrying me. Where's the 500?
That's beautiful.
With interest, sir. Thank you all so very much. Taiwo, good night. Dolakpo, good night. To everyone.
I didn't even mention you at all. Nkiru, the woman with the long legs.
Nkiru has gone to see. Nkiru got tired when you told her that when you said you didn't want her to kneel down. It's only Bimbo you wanted to kneel down. So Nkiru.
No, just Bimbo for now.
Boo boo. You're in trouble this night. Thank you all so much. Thank you to our listeners at home. This was a fantastic show. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for coming on board. Thank you for all. We tried to read out as many as we could. Tonya Amaka, your comment was fantastic. I don't think I read it out. You said, I was raised by Papa who cooked, did school runs, paid school fees without nagging. Papa who also bought panties and sanitary pads as well. So, as you can see, there are men who are also involved in the more domestic side of things, but it seems to me that as long as they are working, everything is fine. The one you can't do is certainly ask a Nigerian man to just sit at home and be a house husband. So, we thank you as well, Rachel. Thank you so much for a whole new perspective, because obviously people are using their own theory, whereas you actually have the practicals and you've actually lived a situation where the roles were reversed in your home. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Talking Drum on Viva Niger Radio. Thank you so much. See you next week. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
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 Bye.